Hi everybody, and welcome along to the start of another new exciting project. This time we're going to be making, this grew out of the Tim Holtz folio that I was kindly sent by Jean, and I covered it in paper, and then honestly I got completely stuck with it. I couldn't get it to fold where I wanted it to. I've kept it because I think there might be something I can do with it, but I don't really know what. But in the interim, I decided that I was going to make my own version of it out of a file folder. So this is a 315 GSM, and it doesn't say what size it is, A4 or letter or anything. So let's measure it. I'll measure it in centimetres first because it's on my board. It's 34.5 centimetres by 24. And I'm not sure if that's letter or A4 or what it is. In inches, let me get my big grid out. In inches, it's 13.5 by 9 3/8. So that's the size that I used for my file folder little folio thing, and this is what I did to it. Let's move this out of the way, then you'll see a bit more clearly. I put a flap on. That was the other thing with the Tim Holtz. When you did fold it where you thought it was supposed to be folded, this flap didn't actually come over this side at all. I don't know. Maybe I was just getting the wrong end of the stick. I don't know. But anyway, this is how I've folded mine, like that. So I've got, I'll give you the measurements now, and I'll also give you them later on if you want to grab yourself a bit of paper or something. But the measurements here are from the edge to the first fold line is, that's not right, I'm reading it back to front. It's 6 1/8, 6 1/8, and the spine itself is 1 inch, and then it's 6 1/8 again. So this piece and this piece are the same, and there's 1 inch spine down there, and then we've got another inch spine, and then 2 1/4 inches to the edge. So those are the measurements, but I'll give you them again later on. When if you've got yourself a bit of paper by then or whatever. And I've actually put magnets in this one, and I've started to decorate it. Actually, that's the back with this big foldy tag that we've got, which is quite pretty. And the paper I'm using for this one is the Journal Boats Shabby Purple, and it's gorgeous paper. It really is pretty. Look at that. I put lace down the sides, down the spines, and I glued it on, and then I had decorated this, and honestly, when I came down in the morning and saw it, I thought, no, can't live with that. So I've ripped it off. That's why this looks a bit second-hand, and this lace, which was flapped over it, of course, now is loose. But when we get something else on there, I'll just glue that down, and it'll be good as new and twice as handsome. That's what they say, isn't it? So I just wanted to show you the papers that I'm going to be using with my file folder, and they are once again from the Journal Boat, but these ones are the purples, look, all the ones she's done actually I've really liked, but this one is glorious. It's called French Fancy. The camera isn't really showing up that beautiful duck egg colour. It's sort of bleaching it out a bit. In fact, if I turn that light off, will that help at all? Maybe not much, but it's a duck egg blue is what it is. That lovely shabby blue colour that you get. So that's one page. I'll just go through them so you can see them. If you love shabby and you love French, this is it. It's the zenith of kits. I can't wait to use it. This one, which I forgot to put on, borderless, so got a bit of a border on that, but it doesn't matter, we can cut things out of it just the same. I'm sure there's some other papers somewhere. Loads of ephemera, which once I've shown you I can get them cut out. Oh, look at that, so pretty. Background paper, great for collaging, great. That's another one as well. Oh, look at that. Reminds me of Lona's wallpapers, that one. Then this, it's already collaged for you, ready to go. Beautiful papers, that's all I can say. They're just beautiful. And then the ephemera, pockets, some washi strips, coin envelope, tickets, tiny little tags, 2 pockets there. An envelope and a card that fits inside it, that's nice. And some words, but in a really lovely font. Journal notes and memories. It's nice, I like the memories, that's an unusual one. Then tags, look at those. They're just beautiful. And another sheet of tags and a journaling card or whatever you want to do with it. Little pieces of ephemera. And now here, this will test my French. I don't know what it says. But there are three strips that are in French, and I'll have to look up what they say because I'm afraid I just don't know. But look at all the ephemera you get. Look at these butterflies as well. Fabulous. I'm going to be cropping those out and making a whole sheet full of just butterflies. That's lovely. They're all lovely. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous kit. And just another background sheet. So that's the kit that I will be using for my altered file folder. I'll put those in the drawer. And let's make a start on the the measurements of the file folder. So the first thing we want to do is, let me just get a sheet of paper out and you'll see I want 1/4 inch at the bottom and 1/4 inch at the top. That's the border I want around mine. So my paper measures 8 1/4. So add on 1/4 at the top is 8 1/2 and 1/4 at the bottom is 8 3/4. So that's where I want to cut the height of my file folder off, 8 3/4. So let's just check that it's lying square first of all. Yeah, that's fine. And we'll cut that off at 8 3/4, as I have said. I think I might have to get my bigger ruler out. I'm just on the boundary of what that one can measure. Right, so that's lovely there. Straight, straight, straight. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. So let's slice that off. Lovely. Now keep hold of this piece here because it's got an important role to play further down the line. So hang on to that. Put my big ruler away. Right, so you'll see that there's one piece that's longer than the other. It's just the way it's folded. I'll take this as being the front because I want any excess that I can get for the flip to come over. So I'm going to use the shortest edge as being my front of my folder. And the first measurement that I want is 6 1/8. So I'm going to score that. Get that up into there nice and flush and score it at 6 and, well, can't do it at 6 1/8 because my scoreboard only measures in 8, yeah, it does measure 8. Yeah, it does measure 8. What's going on about? What are you talking about? Rubbish, as usual. So that's 6 1/8. So let's go down there. It's quite thick, so take your time. And you're better off to score sort of 4 times backwards and forwards than one really big, heavy time. Now we want 1 inch for the spine, so that'll be 7 1/8. So let's put that one in. Lovely. And then we want 6 1/8 again. From that line there, we want 6 1/8. So I'm going to have to fold that to get that into the onto the scoreboard. So this is the first line that we did. I'm just making sure it's straight before I crease it in for all times. And then this one's the second line here, giving us the spine. Just make sure it's straight. It sometimes does have a tendency to want to move on you. There we are. So that's our spine put in there like that. And then we want 6 1/8 from the last line that we scored, which is this one. So push that up into your corner, make sure everything's flush, and then go to 6 1/8 and score that line down. I'm sorry you can't see because it's flopping over, but trust me, I'm scoring it at 6 1/8. And then 1 inch, which is 7 1/8. So there, get out the way. And that's left us with rather more than I had the last time. I've obviously done it the other way around. Yeah, that's left us with 4 1/8 inches. That's brilliant. This is the best way to do it then. I think before I used that as part of my spine, whereas now I'm using it as the back. So that's giving us a much, let's put these spines in and you'll see what I mean. Yeah, I think I'd used the fold in the file, whereas this time I've ignored the fold, just put my own folds in, and it's given us much more of this flippy bit at the front, which I like. Right, let me put this away and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, we've got one more to, oh no, it's in, there we are. So there we are, there's our file folder. You see, this is the spine that it came with, but that's not going to matter because we're sticking paper on this side, paper on that side, so it'll easily straighten out. And there's our file folder with this lovely big flap over there, whereas you see on this one I've only been left with that much, and that's because I used this, the file, that's where it was folded when I got it, and I've used that. This one I've just gone straight from the edge all the way along, and I like that much better. You know, we may choose not to use all this flap, that's fine, but we've got it now, so that's great. So we've cut nothing off the width of that file, nothing. We're going to use it all. Right, so the next thing that I want to do is go around it with framers tape. This is inch and a half. Let me just check it's inch and a half. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, inch and a half. I think that's 5 centimetres, is it? Oh no, it's not. It's almost 4 centimetres. And you'll see with this one, I've gone around the entire, everywhere with this framers tape. Now, if you've got a file folder that you like the colour of and you're happy to use it to build from, that's fine. You can skip this part completely. I personally just love the brown. I really love that colour. So I think whatever colour I had, I would still be putting this framers tape on it because I think it enhances, you know, when you look at that and you can just see a little bit of it, and this front flap here, it just looks nice, it looks finished. So that's the next job that we're going to do. And the first 2 bits that you want to do are the spines, the inside spines. It's brilliant stuff, this. And I must say a huge thank you to Tanya at Tatty Treasures, because I hadn't come across it before. So, I mean, aim to get it quite straight if you can, but it's very forgiving. I don't know which scissors to use. You know, you can lift it up and reposition it and get wrinkles out, etc., etc. That's great. So I'm just going to get my bone folder and burnish this down completely. So it's got a really good contact with that file folder. And then just chop the excess off. Same on the other spine. And really all you want to do is make sure that you've got 1/4 inch on either side, because we're going to put paper on it up to 1/4 inch. Away from the edges. So let's give that a good burnish. Which is the one I've just put on? I can't remember now. I'll burnish them both. Oh, this one looks like it might be the new one. Lovely. So let's put those creases in again, the spine creases. You're better off always doing it, no matter what you do. Just keep putting those creases back in. And the framers tape does, you know, it's easy to crease. It's not thick and bulky and making life difficult for you at all. So there we go, that's that. It's a bit near the knuckle at the top, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So then turn it over and put your framers tape on the other side of those hinges. Pop it on both sides. That's just a little bit too close there, so I'm just going to take this off, which it allows you to do effortlessly. It does do that, but I'm going to put this down further over that way. Yeah, that's better. So same old, burnish it down. And if you get wrinkles in it, by the time you've burnished it, you wouldn't even know they were there. I'm having a love affair with this. It's fantastic stuff. So just chop your ends off, keep neatening as you go. And as Jen said yesterday in the live, you know, if you stamp all over it, you've got yourself some washi in whatever colour or topic or whatever it is that you want. You know, you've got your own self-made washi, which can't be a bad thing. In fact, we're using it pretty much like washi tape. Right, so that's the 2 spines done. Let's just fold them in again after that last one. I know it does get a bit tedious, all this folding your spines in, but it's worth it in the end. It's got some sharp spinage going on. There we go. Right, lovely. Lovely job. Now all we've got to do is go all the way around it. So before we do that, I just want to round my corners off. I just like them better when they're rounded. And just look a little bit more finished, I think. There we go. Right, so let's start on one of the shorter sides. So we want it half on and half off. It's kind of difficult to see where that is, but I'm guessing it's about there. And fold it over, and pull it quite tightly over. You don't want any bagging along the crease. Perisher thought you should have a baggy crease. Oh dear. Just burnish. When you put it down, make sure you burnish everywhere. So I'm going to snip those straight and then I'm going to round them. Because, I mean, you might have a stronger rounder than mine, but mine won't take too much stuff before it just won't cut. So I'm just going to round them at this stage, but I'll also have to round them when we put the long one. Okay, so let's do the other side. Pull it over, avoiding baggy creases. There we are. See, that had a crease in it and I've just burnished it and it's disappeared. It's amazing stuff. There we are. I'll just cut those off square and then I'll put round them out with a corner rounder. Okay, so now what's left is the long stretches along the top and bottom. Lovely. It's decided to stick together. There we are, so we'll just burnish that up. Or burnish it down really, isn't it? Burnish it down. You don't burnish it up. Okay, so same old, same old. Chop these square and then we'll round them. Framers tape, it's it's not like binding. You can't get it to go around corners. I tried, but it didn't work. Oh, I've lost my corner rounder. Here it is. I did tidy my desk after yesterday when we did the take 5. So my desk is as tidy as I can get it feasibly, because there's stuff I do need around me. I just didn't need all the stuff I had around me. It's really hard keeping your table clear, isn't it? Because when you're doing a project, you bring a load of stuff over that you think you might want to use. And I can't keep all of those in the drawers, underneath the desk or whatever, because they're already full of stuff. It's all the stuff that doesn't really have a proper home, Sure you know what I'm talking about. Like certain things, yes, that goes in this drawer, that drawer, whatever, but some things just don't have a home. And I don't know where to put them. Because I can't start a drawer for them because there's not enough there's not enough of whatever item it is to fill a drawer. And I don't have any spare drawers, so I can't do that. So they just kind of get battered around on my desk until such times as, like yesterday, no, that's just too much. I just can't work in this anymore. There we go, just around those corners. There are a lot of people on our group, the Miss Paint-A-Lots Junk Journal group, that are absolute beginners. When they join, I ask them to complete 3 very basic questions. And one of them is, how long have you been junk journaling? And I'm telling you, you'd be amazed by the amount of people that are absolute new beginners. And if I go into sort of too much detail type mode, then it's because I'm trying to cater for the people who haven't ever done this before. And that's why wow, that is so near the knuckle there. I'd have to put a piece of paper right into that. I don't really want to do that. I'm going to have to put another bit of tape there, I think. That's probably okay, and probably get away with. But no, that's way too near the knuckle. Is everything else all right? I think so. Yeah, it's just that bit. So I'm going to have to put another bit over there. Didn't notice that when I did it. But don't think I can get away with that. So let that be a lesson to you. Keep an eye on where your tape's going. Let's try and just cut these excess bits off. There we go. Right, so once again, let's fold in these spines. That's much better. I'm happy with that. This is the last time. It's just for the bits on the top and bottom that we've just put on. Just pressing those in, really. Same on this side. Right, so there we have it. That's the basis of our journal folio. Looks nice, looks fine. Right, now then, the two pieces that, or this piece that I told you not to chuck away, now it comes into play. And with that, we're going to be making these two pieces that go like this in the middle section. So they're going to be like that. Okay? I'm saying okay because at this moment I'm thinking. I'm not meaning, okay, have you got it? I'm meaning, okay, Miss P, do you know what you're doing? So let's keep them to hand. I'll just have a quick swill of my Coke. So, by my reckoning, let's get the scoreboard up again. It's 4 inches. And I'm doing this along the way. So it's 4 inches, score a line. 1/2 inch, score a line. And then 1 inch, which is going to be our cutting line. So that's 1. And same on the other side. So it's 4 inches, which is the flap that comes over. An inch, furthermore, a further 1/2 inch. And that's going to create the spine. And then 1 inch from there, which is our cutting line, there. So we can cut those off and score them up. So I've got this very clear line to go by, so surely even I can do this. Lovely. So we've still got this left. So who knows, that might reappear as a booklet or something. You never know, do you? It's good quality card, so I'm not chucking it out. So let's put in our spines. And these are only 1/2 inch spines. So make sure that you square along the bottom before you score it in. Burnish it in, should I say. And then the next one along. Once again, make sure you've got it square. Like that. So we've got this little 1/2 inch spine. We've got this to attach it to the thing, the 1/2 inch spine, and this is the flap that's going to be visible. Ding, ding. And like I said, just make sure, take the time to make sure it's straight, because if it's not, it'll bother you forever and a day. Lovely, lovely job. That's great. So that's going to go in this middle section, and it's going to get stuck on there in the centre, and then it'll flap up like that and down like that. We'll have some stuff under it, we'll have some stuff over it, because don't forget we've got 1 inch spine here, so I've got plenty of room. So we need to just go around those with the need to round the corners with the framer's tape. This is kind of at the limit of what my corner punch wants to do. There we go. So let's start with the bottom. There's not a right way and a wrong way to approach this. Just it's just kind of got to get on there, and that's it. And it doesn't matter how much overlap you have on the back or the front, as long as you've got more than 1/4 inch, that's fine. It doesn't have to be equal or anything, because we're going to stick paper over it. Let's cut those corners. Doesn't want to cut it. That's it. I don't know, sometimes it gets a bit stuck in it, you know, the bits that it's already cut, and then you've got no chance of it cutting or anything. Let's do the spine. So take care to make sure it's equally over the spine, or at least you've got 1/4 inch on each side. I'm just going to go around here. Just going to come right over the top. Pull that quite tight as I do. And down here. Don't think there's a low against it. Lovely. And just burnish that down. And on the other side. Fold your creases in again. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I don't think I'm going to put any here because this is a bit that's getting stuck down in the book. So it doesn't need this bit on here. It's going to be covered, whatever. So I'll just do the edges and then that's finished. Ooh, couldn't do that if you tried. Lovely, and just down the other side. You may think that this is an awful fuss and you want no part of it, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. You know, at the end of the day, whatever I say I'm doing, it's just what I'm doing. You don't have to do the same thing at all by any stretch of the imagination. So like I say, if you're looking at this and thinking, no way, Jose, that's fine. Don't even think about it. Just crack on with the next bit. Right, so that's one done. Crease those in, haven't we? Yeah. So I've just got one more to go. I'll put the spine in first, I think. I'm going to come over again. I quite like that. It was successful, I think. I'm just putting it quite taut there. It's a really snowy day here today. It was snowy yesterday, but it's been snowing since then, so it's even more snowy than it was. I think the temperature's got up now to about 2 degrees or so. So it's not actually snowing at the moment. And it may be that some of the snow that did land has actually got away a little bit, I think. Still plenty lying around, but there's more forecast for tonight. I like the snow, actually. I don't dislike the snow. What I do dislike is when the electricity goes off due to it. Because that's just not funny. I've somehow managed to get that tucked up in the wrong place, but never mind. We'll burnish it down, but hopefully it'll be okay. If not, I'll have to take it off. No, it's fine. So that is just straight along there. And this one's straight, but we'll round it. Like that. Ooh, big crease there. Look at that. It's amazing stuff. I could do an advert for framers tape. Just don't know why I hadn't come across it sooner, really. Think of all the things I could have used it on. There we are, just round this corner. Just got this one last bit to do. So, nearly there. Right, so that's all our framers tape on. Let's just get the ends of this. All our hinges in place. Everything's looking nice. So the next step is, let's put that back where it belongs. Let's put this back where it belongs. It's incredible, isn't it? I'm putting things back where they belong. So here's our folder. I'll put the other one back in its drawer. That's not its drawer, that's its drawer. It has its own drawer. And I'm going to get one of my stamping boards out because I'm going to be using archival ink, and I'm going to be using it in the colour sepia. I have tried this technique with, just looking for my stamps. Don't tell me in my eagerness I actually put them away. My goodness me. Okay, well, in my eagerness to tidy up, I tidied them away. I'm so not used to things being put away. But these stamps are tiny. They're really, small. This one's got butterflies on. I'll show you them and you can see. They're just tiny little patterns. And for what we want, they're absolutely perfect. So I am going to select, I used the butterfly on the other one, so I'm going to select something different. I'll select this flowery one. And I should have pulled it off the backing before I started because it's a bit these are really old and they've had a long time to stick to this cling backing, but I don't want to tear them. They were one of Mr. F's charity shop finds. And like I say, they've just been languishing at the bottom of the stamp drawer because they're so tiny I couldn't think of anything I would use them on. There we go, we've got that one off. So I just need a stamping platform. Come on. Aha, I have one. This looks a bit manky, but it'll be fine. So pop that onto there. I'm using my Ranger archival ink in sepia and take the ink to the stamp. So this stamp's brand new. It's possible it won't stamp out that well, but give it a try. And I'm just going to start here. Oh, that's pretty. And all of the framer's tape needs to be covered in this. And it doesn't matter if you go into these green areas because they're going to have paper on them, so you won't see that. So it doesn't matter at all. Don't know if I can get a stamp out of there. Yeah, just about. A bit of a ghost stamp, but it's quite nice. So go all around your framer's tape with this, back and front, inside and out. Might get just along the top there out of that bit. Yeah, there we are. That's a really pretty little design, that actually. Tiny little flowers. See, that doesn't matter at all because your paper's going to cover all of that, so you really won't see it. So basically all you need to do is just carry on stamping. Join me back again in a, well, literally a second, but it will take me longer than that. And I'll have everywhere stamped and you can have a look and see. So here we are, we've got it completely, all the framer's tape is completely stamped over and it's really pretty. I love that effect. And don't worry, as I say, at all about the fact that you've got green stamping, that you've got stamping on the green. In fact, there I just stamped my stamp off just to clean it. There's going to be papers there, you're never going to see it, it's going to be fine. So in the fullness of, that will go there, that will go there, and we'll have ourselves a nice little folio. So, on to the next part. The next part, I'll be doing the back section. So join me soon, and we'll carry on with this exciting new project, French Fancy. Bye for now.